All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that is actually the case. Of course, today's live stream, it is only about predictions, midterm predictions, that is. Gotta make sure that we're live on Rumble. Let's see. Chat is working. That is a good sign. Yep, we're live on Rumble. Okay. Chunky96, sipping a Monster Orange Dreamsicle, clank on. Excellent. Not mainly a super chat live stream. You can do super chats, by the way, during the live event for tomorrow, the midterm stream itself. I will probably have to have an arbitrary cutoff for the actual, like the total, before I read it out, because there are probably going to be so many. It'll probably be 4 or 5 times as many people as normally tune in, just to be clear. If the last midterm stream is any indicator, it'll be well over 10,000 people just on YouTube, thousands more on Rumble. I'm probably not going to be able to put it on Odyssey because, unfortunately, they still have not simplified their system for live streaming. It's definitely it's not key, but there's no way for me to do that. I can't pay attention to the chats anyway. And as to Artyom Dragstov, why don't you ever screen share articles or election maps? I will be doing that for the midterm live stream. I will. I'll be collating that shit out. What we're gonna do today, I'm gonna give you my final predictions. I had hoped for more polling, and some may come in late, but I'm gonna give you my predictions based on the current polling, number 1, and number 2. I'm gonna give you the Oracle predictions for the flipping of the coin. I'm going to be using a random number generator, so it'll spit out a number between 1 and 2. If it's 1, the Republican is predicted to win, according to the random number generator, the de facto digital coin flip. If it's a 2, then the Democrat wins. I'm just doing that because I find it funny. And for one race, which is Oz versus Fetterman in Pennsylvania, I'll have to do that anyway. We do have guests planned, of course, for the midterm live stream. Yes, Razor Fist is one of them. He is a planned guest. I'll be getting him aboard. We've got Chris Whalen, CPA. We've got Adam Krigler. There are a couple of other individuals who may or may not actually show up. It's still up in the air, so I haven't given a definitive list yet. So that's the reason why I haven't actually shared that out. One I've emailed earlier. A couple of others. One is in European time. Of course, I'll be going very, very late. It'll be 2 a.m. when I begin. Locally. I've booked out a hotel room. I'm going to try to get a nap beforehand, but I'm an insomniac, so I may or may not actually get any sleep. I'm going to do the best that I can to be fresh and lively for the live stream. No guarantees, though. I may just be running on fumes, so we'll get right into this. Let me see. Yes, indeed. All right, so first I'm going to make my predictions. These are my official predictions for the midterms for the U.S. election. Number 1, we've got Drazen versus Kotek. This is the Oregon gubernatorial race. I think that Drazen will actually pull it off. There's only been one recent poll that shows Kotek's up, and I think it'll be overwhelmed. I think that in Oregon, you're going to end up with a Republican governor. We've got Lake versus Hobbs. This is the Arizona gubernatorial slot. I think that Kari Lake will win. Shenanigans aside, there will be honking in some of these, by the way, which is why in one of these races, I'm literally just going to go by the coin flip. I'll be making the same guess that the Oracle does. Random.org. In Arizona, though, I think I'm confident that Kari Lake will actually carry through. I think she will be the next Arizona governor. By the way, that also means that she's likely a shortlist contender for a future presidential run. We have Masters versus Kelly as well in Arizona. That's the Senate race. I think Blake Masters will win. I think that this will be a major pickup for the Republicans. This is part of why I'll be making my Senate GOP gain prediction as well. I think that Blake Masters will win. We have Johnson versus Barnes, the Wisconsin Senate. If the polls are any indicator, and unless there's a swing in favor of the Dems, which I can't imagine happening, Johnson will win. So this is another big Republican victory. This is the Wisconsin Senate. For their gubernatorial race, Mitchells. I think that will be another pickup. Again, Senate may be more important than gubernatorial, generally speaking, as far as federal legislation, but keep in mind that the states do have outsized power with regards to election laws and with regards to a half a dozen other major things. I think that Mitchell's will actually win. With Laxalt v. Cortez in Nevada, that's the Senate seat. At this point, Laxalt, I think, runs away with it. The gap has actually widened over the last few weeks. The Republicans will be taking the Nevada Senate slot. This is another major pickup. Lombardo v. Sisolak, which is the Nevada gubernatorial slot. I think Lombardo will win. It's possible. This one's closer than the Senate seat. You do have several polls showing the incumbent governor, which is a Democrat, Sisolak, up. But the problem is, in the aggregate, it shows a different story. And the polls that are showing the Republicans up there tend to be more reliable. So I think that the Republicans will end up taking the gubernatorial slot in Nevada. We've got Budd versus Beasley, North Carolina Senate. This is something that months ago, the Democrats thought that they could grab it. It's pretty much beyond their capability at this point. If you look at the polling, the gap is widened. It's fairly large. It's fairly severe. I think that Budd will win. Again, another Republican hold there. As far as Bolduc v. Hassan, New Hampshire gubernatorial slot, I'm really, really hesitant to believe that the small number of polls showing Bolduc up by a point or two are actually real. And you've got to understand that Bolduc did one unwise thing, which is that he claimed that a libertarian had assaulted him when that's not actually the case. If the libertarians, at the end of the day, if they decide to punish him, he can't win in the New Hampshire gubernatorial race. It's the free state. There are too many libertarians there. Yes, the libertarians, and I tend to be one ideologically, if not as far as partisan membership, may very well deny Bolduc that a slot. I am betting on Hassan winning re-election there. Whether I like it or not means nothing. That's just what I'm betting. I would be pleasantly surprised if she got knocked out. But again, if you've got 2 or 3 points of the state's population gunning for him because of arguably, literally false claims of assault, it turns out that's not actually the case, but it was run with anyway by the Neocon Inc. sort of people. Then Hassan gets a free gift there. We've got Walker v. Warnock. Here's what I'm predicting. I do not think that Walker will win it on election night. I don't think anyone hits 50%. I believe that Walker will in the end win, but that it'll go to a runoff. So Republican pickup, knocking out Warnock, but it won't be on election night. There will be a runoff because nobody will hit the mark. Shapiro v. Mastriano, Pennsylvania governor. I think Shapiro will win this one. Mastriano, like him or not, he is massively behind. You're going to need at least a 4 or 5 point swing in order for Mastriano to actually win. While I think there will be a polling swing, and that's another prediction that I will make, I don't think that it's going to be that large. That would be, historically speaking, I mean, it's within normal bounds, but it's on the upper end. I think that Mastriano will in the end lose. Oz v. Fetterman, Pennsylvania Senate. I'm going to do this one right now with random.org. Now, I wish I could show this to you, but I'm using Opera at the moment. It doesn't play well with StreamYard. I am going to generate a random number. It is between 1 and 2. If it says 1, Mehmet Oz is my official pick, because I'll explain why. If it's a 2, then we're picking Fetterman. So let us generate the number. It has generated a 1. It is predicting that Mehmet Oz will indeed win that slot. So I'll put that in right now. So Oz is the official pick of Clankdom for the Pennsylvania Senate. Now, here's why I decided to relegate it to a coin toss. Here's why I decided to do that. I'll be doing coin tosses for the other races in a moment anyway, but with this one, I didn't even want to make a fucking prediction. Mehmet Oz is slightly ahead and has the tailwind in a race that's likely to see higher than normal Republican turnout. We're seeing this across the country. The Democrats, while they're leading in early voting and mail-in the latter, they're not leading by nearly as much as they wish, number one. And number two, on election day, you do have higher enthusiasm, I think, for the GOP. They're leading by 2.5 in the generic, which, by the way, will be another prediction that I make as far as the outsized turnout. The problem is that in Pennsylvania, you don't have complete defortification. So if I don't have complete defortification in the state, if there is the possibility of chicanery, shenanigans, balderdash, and rubbish happening, my heart says that Oz wins it. My mind says that Fetterman can still be placed in there anyway, because, I mean, think about the situation. He'd be very easy to control. The man has brain damage. So I can't see a better fit in a state like Pennsylvania. I can't see a better fit for them trying to honk in the current midterm elections. But the Oracle has chosen Mehmet Oz, so I'm going to go with it. Whether that's right or not, we shall see. Ohio Senate, Vance v. Ryan. It's going to be Vance. In fact, did I already cover that one? No, I didn't. Yeah, I think that Vance, he has widened the gap significantly. At the end of the day, I don't think that Team Ryan is capable of surmounting it. It's like a 5-point lead in the aggregate. Again, well, in Ohio, that's not necessarily the greatest of leads because this state has gone more and more red. It's significant enough. It's not surmountable, in my opinion. Now, Dixon v. Whitmer. This is the Michigan gubernatorial slot. Everyone on the right wants Whitmer to lose and Tudor Dixon to knock her off her pedestal. I would love this. Whitmer is a lockdowner. She's lied repeatedly. She literally did have a Terry McAuliffe moment, but she's been shielded by the legacy media, et cetera, et cetera. She comes in with a substantial lead. People have already cemented, their decision-making. I think, unfortunately, Whitmer will retain her seat here, but it'll be by a very underwhelming margin. Bringing us directly into the next race, which is Zeldin v. Hochul in the New York gubernatorial race. Hochul, I believe, will win. Here's the thing, and I mentioned this more than a month ago. If Hochul can only win by single-digit margins, it's already a loss. If you can only hold New York by 3 or 4 points when you're the fucking Democrat, it's not exactly a major a statement of your sound policy making now, is it? Murkowski v. Shabaka, Alaska Senate. This is a Republican v. Republican race. Here's why I think Murkowski will narrowly hold on to her seat. While MAGA Republicans are the majority, if you take the non-MAGA Republicans and add them to the Democrats who have no one else to vote for other than Murkowski, presumably, and the Dems have been campaigning for him explicitly, as well as Mitch McConnell, the uniparty head, I think that they have enough votes to have Murkowski hold on. I mean, it's better than having a Democrat in the seat marginally, but not so much, I suppose. So I think that, unfortunately, Shabaka will not beat Murkowski. On the same token, Palin v. Peltola, we don't have any new polls. We don't have any new polls for this either when I look at RCP. Some people are favoring Shabaka actually over Murkowski. I'm just skeptical whether it's going to be enough at the end of the day. Rubio v. Val Demings, Florida Senate. Rubio will win, and possibly by a double-digit margin. Val Demings looked slightly competitive like a month ago. That time has passed. Rubio has been excelling in all of the polling since then. By the way, Trump coming out yesterday and talking about how Rubio would win. And by the way, DeSantis would be reelected. It's interesting. I thought that they were feuding and shit. CNN told me so. So, yeah, I think that Rubio will easily be reelected. I would say probably 6 or 7 points. That's a pretty good lead. Smiley versus Murray, the Washington Senate. This is a race that was not reckoned to be competitive until, a couple of weeks ago. I think the Republicans will actually pull it off. I think that the surprise of the night will be that Smiley wins and that the Washington Senate will actually go to the Republicans. By the way, that gives you your third pickup if you look at all of the races that I'm guessing here. And finally, Lee versus McMullen. In the Utah Senate, you've got Lee, who is the Republican, Trump-backed. Not really MAGA necessarily, but margins of sort of like a Ted Cruz, I guess. Versus McMullen, the anti-Trumper who grifted a bunch of money, then ran as an independent. It will be reasonably close, and Utah is really becoming a wonky state politically. Lee, I think at the end of the day, will win this particular race. Now, we'll go to the coin flipping in a moment. But first, I wanted to make a few other predictions. Number one, Kemp in Georgia, DeSantis in Florida, and Abbott in Texas will all be reelected. Possibly all of them by double digits. I would hazard a guess that at least one of them will win by double digits. These are three very important races, at least like 5 or 6 months ago, that the Dems were targeting as far as the gubernatorial slots. They're not going to get any of them. Stacey Abrams will lose against Brian Kemp. Charlie Crist will lose against Ron DeSantis. And Beto O'Rourke will definitely lose against Greg Abbott. These are guarantees. It's not even a prediction. It's just a statement of fact. The numbers just aren't there. And by the way, they never really were there, except with there was one poll, I think, that showed Charlie Crist up by a point 3 or 4 months ago. Boy, oh boy, has that gap changed. These people will be reelected. That is a guarantee, effectively. Next, final poll differential. What will the difference be between the GOP's actual end results and the polling that we're seeing? So the polls that you see generally on RCP with their average, that's what I use generally. I think it'll be 2.5 points plus for the GOP. That is, they will outperform by about 2.5. This is why I'm making these predictions. In some of these cases, the races would go to the Democrats if that differential did not exist. I'm going out on a limb and saying it will exist. It comports, by the way, to the generic congressional ballot very, very closely. That's only slightly ahead of 2.5. That differential gives the Republicans a vast majority in the House. I'll get to that in a moment. A significant Senate and gubernatorial majority. It knocked several individuals out that the Republicans a couple of months ago never would have thought they could possibly match up against. Then we have the big predictions. House GOP gain. I think it'll be between 40 and 45 seats. Somewhere in there lies the total. By the way, Newt Gingrich, I think he put it at 44. So that's within that same margin. RCP gets it close. I think upper 30s, low 40s. So it's basically in the same general neck of the woods. That is a significant gain. The cope the day after from the Democrats will be, well, thank God we didn't lose by 60 seats, considering Joe Biden's approval rating is 12 points underwater. That's literally what they're going to run with. Senate GOP gain, either 2 or 3 seats. I straddle the line and say there's an equal likelihood of either. If I had to give an over-under, though, I would expect it to be an extra seat. I would expect it to be 3 to 4 as opposed to 1 to 2. But I have to give it a 2.5, so I have to give you a little bit of a range. And with gubernatorial gain, 3 to 4 seats, which is significant. And that again relies upon Oregon. It relies upon Drazen beating Kotek. That may or may not happen, but I think that it's more likely than not because you do have an independent spoiler candidate. So yeah, let's get to the coin flips. I've got to get this over here. Just a moment. So remember, again, I'm randomly generating a number between 1 and 2 here. If it comes out as a 1, the Republican wins. If it comes out as a 2, the Democrat wins. Having given you my predictions, I'm giving you the predictions of this coin flip. So let's begin generating. The random.org agrees with me with regards to the Oregon governor, predicting that Drazen will win. However, it predicts that Kari Lake will lose against Katie Hobbs. Masters v. Kelly, it believes that Kelly will win. I think that the coin is probably wrong on that one, but that's just my own opinion. It agrees with me that Johnson will win over Barnes in the Wisconsin Senate race. And goddamn, I can't spell here. Jesus Christ. Wisconsin gubernatorial, Mitchell versus Evers. It agrees with me and believes that Mitchell's will indeed win. Laxalt v. Cortez in the Nevada Senate. It agrees with me and believes that Laxalt will win. Looking pretty good so far, by the way. It agrees with me that Lombardo will win over Sisolak for the Nevada gubernatorial seat. Now with Bud versus Beasley, it actually believes that Beasley will win. That somewhat differentiates from the probable reality, just to be clear. Will Bolduc or Hassan win? Oh, it's disagreeing with me. It thinks that Bolduc will actually win over Hassan. I think that at the end of the day, she will manage to maintain her seat, if only barely. Apparently, the Oracle disagrees. And it agrees with me with Walker. in the Georgia Senate race, returning a 1. Shapiro v. Mastriano. I'll be very surprised. I will, let's see. Yes, it agrees with me, of course. Shapiro maintains his seat, unfortunately, against Mastriano. If it had gone the other direction, I would have had to reconsider my belief in oracles. Let's see. And Oz v. Fetterman, we already did that. We agree that Oz will win. Vance v. Ryan. It believes that Ryan will win, actually, that Vance will not. I disagree again. Dixon v. Whitmer. The Oracle believes that Whitmer will be reelected, agreeing with me. Zeldin v. Hochul. It believes, as with me, that Hochul will be reelected. Murkowski v. Shiabaka. Oh, it disagrees. It thinks that Shabaka will get it. It is basically a 50-50. It's entirely possible. We've only got one fucking poll. It's over a month old. Rubio v. Demings. It is predicting that Val Demings will win against Rubio. Smiley v. Murray. It believes that Murray will win. And Lee v. McMullen. It's predicting the same as me with Lee. Okay. So we've done our coin tosses, our oracle work. I need to save this file. I've got it all on a notepad to the side, and we'll be referring to it during the midterms themselves. Ultimately, though, I think that is technically a statistical anomaly. I think it agreed with me 3/4 of the time. Anyway, we'll go through a few super chats here, and then keep in mind, this is a short stream. I've got pizza to eat later. And not pizza the way that Joe Biden, his entourage like it, by the way. Hismanai, happy clank. Dr. Zeodin, watch the YouTube banhammer drop today and tomorrow. Yeah, there will be people purged, but I take care not to violate the TOS for a reason. Plus, I'll be streaming on Rumble, so I don't give a damn. Devin Knox, what's a good way to explain that cashless bail adds to the crime problem? Because if you apply it to significant crimes, the people may have a rap sheet a mile long, and then all of a sudden they're back out on the streets doing the same thing again. Isaac Ott, hey Sticks, been listening every day for 6 years. How can I get you a badass MRE knife? You can send it to my Rutland address if you want to. I'm not giving out my local address. Maranu M, looking forward to the upcoming live stream. Here's something to help pay for the hotel room. Oh, don't worry, that's been paid for. But you will pay for energy drinks. I think I've got 7 of them in the drawer next to me. Good times. The Burkett 5, do you think Biden will mail it in after getting slammed tomorrow? A dormant Brandon has to be better than an active Brandon. I think he's going to have some fucking political problems holding together the Democratic Party after what we're about to see. Sticks X and Ham are 666. Since Clank is blocked by the Young Turks, we needed to fuck Joe Biden of our own, like Spank. Yeah, we're going to have to do that if we clank on the Young Turks, which is like, I don't know if we'll even bother considering their declining audience, but they have banned the word clank in their chat. They've also banned me from chatting there at all. As far as I know, though, the spoon emoji is still a go. So I guess we'll go with that. RRR 330. Is it true already voting machine nonsense in Pennsylvania? I don't know. Somebody can get me a fact check. By the way, if any of you are watching tomorrow during the midterms, and many of you I'm assuming will, please do send me tips with regards to states being called. Please link me. And yes, I hate to say this, but it should be from the legacy media. Link me links with regards to state races being called, gubernatorial, senate, etc. Any other bizarre stuff that we can talk about on live stream via Twitter DM, mainly. That's the only way really to get it to me. We will be referring also to at least one live updated map. I'm going to need people to give me links via Twitter DM before the live stream begins. I don't know whether it will be New York Times, Politico, etc., etc. It's probably some cringe legacy media site because they have the budget to set such a thing up. I will have to refer to one of those live as well. Captain Spire, my concern is even if local ballots are hand counted, all the results are digitally sent to the state regardless of local verification. What's to stop the final numbers from being honked with? In some states, because they're double checked. In some states, nothing, I hate to say. Hence my Pennsylvania prediction. Apparently, Mehmet Oz will manage to overcome the honking there, according to the coin flip. Chad Champion, as a citizen of Chadazona, I finally get to catch your stream live as we don't adhere to daylight dumb time. Yeah, I hate time changes. Fuck them. The Swamp Cleaner, the Pennsylvania voter verification system went offline. Who'd have thunk it? Zedekai, I've been seeing some memes that say no one should use the Brave or Opera search engines because they are based on Chrome. They then say users should use Mozilla. I know you advocate Brave. Thoughts? I use Opera. Mozilla's bullshit at this point. They sold out years and years ago to George Soros. I wouldn't use Mozilla or any derivative. If you're going to use Waterfox or Pale Moon or something like that, that's fine. You might lack certain functionalities in doing so. I used Pale Moon for years, but it just couldn't keep up with the functions that I needed. I tend to use Opera. Brave is fine. As far as Mozilla, it's horseshit. You should not use Mozilla Firefox. Boycott them. They sold out. CyberBee, Pello Sticks, hope you and the family are well. Do you think that without backstory, which is long, my dad is right to be blackpilled about elections, or will the people choose a better tomorrow? Get him to the goddamn polls and get him to vote, and hopefully he'll be less blackpilled. Rich, the president and the VP both campaign this weekend on separate days in the Chicago area. Are they scared of Illinois going red? Seemed weird to come here with less than a week to go. I don't know what their fucking problem is. But you got to understand that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are both insane. So they might just be making tactical errors like usual. Biden, the other day in New York, claiming again that he wanted to end oil drilling, which is funny because less than 24 hours before he corrected himself and said he was sorry for his previous comments, saying effectively the same thing. Grandpa Nurgle, the clankening has begun. Yes, indeed. AG, what's your thoughts on the Washington State Senate? I'm from that state and it's heavily blue. Yes, but I think that in the end, it may very well go Republican. It might be swinging back massively in the other direction due to the crime problem there. Same with Oregon. Now look at Drazen versus Kotek for the gubernatorial slot there. It's basically the Republicans have a slight edge. Well, that's the part of the country most impacted by Antifa. Mike B 270 sent $1, no comment. By the way, please don't send any more super chats. I'm going to keep this one short to retain my voice for tomorrow. Soleil 333, some honking could be expected in Wisconsin, at least in the Milwaukee, since there have been a few arrests recently involving honk shenanigans, but I hope it's not enough to help Evers. I think that one will not go the Democrats' way. It has to be close in order for that strategy to work. Well, most of these races aren't so close now, like in Nevada with Lac Salt or something. It's basically off the table. There's not enough honking in the world that can overrun the result. Ren London. My husband introduced me to your channel 4 years ago. I've been watching you every morning to start my day. You are awesome. Well, thank you very much. You're awesome too. Good choice for the morning show. Ralph J. Can you explain the flooded with right-wing pollsters cope that libs are saying are skewing the polls for Republicans? I saw this said the past week. They don't know what the fucking hell they're talking about. Even fucking Nate Silver, who was a big Hillary Clinton fan, has the Republicans slightly favored to win the Senate. Don't even get me started on the House. Skewed polls, my ass. They sound like left-wing Karl Roves. Adam THM, hey there, Sticks. What would be the doomsday scenario for both parties? Also, if you could pick one race for both parties that could be an upset with zero polling. Upset for both parties with zero polling? I wouldn't know. I'd say the closest thing you've got is in Alaska, Murkowski v. Shibaka. Oh, I suppose with zero polling, Palin v. Peltola. Palin is the MAGA candidate, of course, Sarah Palin, endorsed by Trump. Peltola has been endorsed effectively by the neocon side of the party, including like Liz Cheney, Murkowski herself running for the Senate in the same state. We'll see what happens there. Doomsday scenario for the Republicans is they lose the Senate. Doomsday scenario for the Democrats is they lose more than 40 House seats. Those are the doomsday scenarios. Crucial Bunny, more people voting equals harder to honk. Depends on who's voting. Are they alive or are they dead? Lone Ranger, will you put your predictions into a Substack? Yeah, I could do that. I've got it saved on a notepad file, and it's obviously here and for the public on this video, so I can't exactly escape my predictions. Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn, Sleazy P. Martini banned me for no good reason, and it was probably a rogue shite mod. Can you have him fix this? Well, his main account got banned. I don't know on what site. Do you mean on YouTube? because he's his main account, I think, is still banned there. Zelmo the Unruly and Baby Doll. I hope you are wrong about Murkowski, but just the other day she was pandering to the fairly sizable Filipino community in Alaska, at least 20,000 strong. Murkowski has a history of pandering up here. Yeah, well, I hope that she loses. I give the advantage to her over her MAGA competitor, unfortunately. Iggy the Incubus. One amusing dem message I heard was reps have no plan for inflation. I'll take it. Worst case scenario, we get indifferent inaction instead of malevolent destruction like the past 2 years. Agreed. That is their new selling point. Vote for us. Yeah, the economy sucks, but the Republicans don't have any clue how to fix it. They can't clean up our monstrous mess. Wayne Sear. Hey, Sticks, finally caught you live. Just wanted to say thanks for all your hard work and greetings from a fellow clanker here in Canada. Eat some poutine. And nobody. I heard that the U.S. government will default on its debt soon. Likely? Can't wait for your midterm live stream tomorrow. No, it's not likely anytime soon, but it's possible in the future. Sparky, establishment's reward to Kemp for selling out Trump in 2020 is re-election. Even if Abrams was popular, she wouldn't win. Yeah, but it'll be an ass pounding of Stacey Abrams. It'll end her career. Like Beto, his career is going to end too, as of tomorrow. He'll still run again probably, but he won't get anywhere. RRR 330, Zeldin wins by less than 3. While I hope that Zeldin wins, it is still a long shot. Richard C., what's new with Alaska? No new polls. It's like you had a 50-50 and nobody thought to poll in Alaska again for one of the major Senate races. Yeah, no, it's only Lisa Murkowski's job on the line. We won't bother with that one. Apache, can't wait to destroy democracy in Georgia tomorrow. Yeah. Manuel Watrago, here for an energy drink. Also, have you played Final Fantasy 14? No, I haven't. Red Raider Matthias, my friend is having an election night dinner. Trim the fat pork chops with red bell peppers and libertine mushrooms. Red wine gravy with red potatoes and red velvet cake. It's going to be a good night. It's color themed. Who was it who did an all blue meal? Was it Kurt Vonnegut or something like that? Many years ago, did an all blue meal because they said, well, or was it that commie writer? I can't remember. I can't remember who did it, but there was someone who did an all blue banquet or some shit 100 years ago. Sea Daddy Gaming, can you do an occult video on the Seal of Solomon? I can look into that. Please, by the way, no more super chats. I'm trying to get this done. Xavier, Clank and Spank. Trig 1211, off topic. Do you think people will still get banned for hate speech and misinfo on Twitter after Elon implements his TOS? Probably not the misinfo so-called, but for hateful speech, yeah, I mean, depending on the ramifications, we'll see what they are. Alex Plays, got my bro into Clankdom. Please shout out to Roy Boy. Okay, a shout out for Roy Boy. He's clanking along now with hyper caffeine. Ben Bocamper, I did my civic duty and shook the hand of the Missouri Democratic nomination for Senate, Trudy Bush Valentine, and told her, let's go, Brandon. I wish you had gotten that on camera. Zedekiah, why would Filipinos want to live in Alaska? Fuck, I have no idea. I would never want to visit Alaska. Any place colder than Rutland. Seth Gray, Sticks, if Congress goes red, how fast is the timeline for Ukraine? Hopefully soon. But I hope that they cancel the IRS expansion first. Go after the IRS, the Ukrainian handouts, and then impeach Joe Biden. If you can only accomplish that, in the first year, that's fine. Internet 4K, fellow clankers, check out our new music video, Bust Back Better, a midterm banger. Also, Sticks, thank you for doing what you do. You woke me up years ago. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. The Grizzly, how bad do you think temper tantrum on the left will be after midterms? Will we see another Chaz or, God forbid, multiple Chaz-style protests across the nation? You'll see plenty of salt, don't worry, and we will be covering plenty of it. Il Sarto on Rumble. I missed an interview recently because I got a hotel thinking it would have better internet than at home. Check the connection before you count on it. Don't worry, I'll make sure that everything works out. Oh, and also Sigilstone17. Screw the YouTube stream. Only use new tech and say wild stuff during the stream. No, I need to make sure to stream on YouTube as well. I think people should have choices about where that they see the content. I mean, I'm not going to say anything more crazy anyway, because I say what I believe already. I don't censor myself. Trust me, says respect. So yeah, there you go. the official final predictions, even though there probably will be. Watch, 10 minutes after I end the stream, there'll be more polls coming in or some shit like that. I will save this. So I've got my predictions and a matchup with the coin flip through random.org. And that is official for the midterm stream tomorrow. Keep in mind, 8 p.m. Eastern time is roughly when we will begin, going until probably midnight, possibly a little bit longer, possibly an after show. Because by 8, usually you're getting some preliminary results in. And by about 10 o'clock, usually, as far as the East Coast races, you know where they lay. We'll be able to run a projection, by the way, by matching up the final polling aggregate with the actual final result in some of those East Coast races, Georgia, Florida, New Hampshire, New York. We'll be able to see if there's a systemic swing towards the GOP, towards the Dems, or no swing at all. And that will be very, very important. We'll be able to project West Coast races partially based on that. So it's going to be excellent. We're going to be going for hours. I've got Sleazy P. Martini as co-host. Fucking, yes, we do have Razor Fist lined up as a guest. We have several others. But right now, a few of them are up in the air. So I haven't released a final docket of who's going to be aboard because I literally don't know yet, which is unfortunate, but yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go off here and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Very, very late my time. It'll be, of course, early evening your time in many cases. If you're watching this, you're probably in the United States. By the way, there are over 5,000 people watching, and this is just a mini stream with fucking predictions. Make sure to tell everybody that you know. Family, friends, do a get-together. Share it out online. Tomorrow, Styx Hexenhammer will be live with Sleazy P. Martini. Razor Fist will be a guest among numerous others, potentially. And we will be doing the midterm stream live. Yes, we will have maps and all that horse shit. And we'll see how our predictions hold up. That's about all. Peace out.